welcome to Mission Possible Podcast, Episode 4, Session 1. We're here today with Sam Sturkie to celebrate in part and hear some of his words about the 1261, or the B61 Mod 12 last production unit. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to see
Thank
you,
for
Sam.
having me.
Yeah. You want to share a little bit of your thoughts, or?
On what?
Well, this is an open podcast. You can keep it to 6112, though.
Okay. So I've been on the 61 Mod 12 for, I guess, since its inception. I've been on the 61 in whole my entire career. So I've never left the 61. So,
Sam, I've heard that your peers call you the grandfather of the B61. Is that true?
that would be Wingate.
Ah, okay,
I'm a little bit younger than Wingate.
David Wingate, I know him. Yes.
So,
yeah.
yes.
Okay,
I'm
great.
the secondary grandfather.
Ah, okay. All right, great. Well, what's it? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just curious. You say since the beginning. Are we
Yes.
talking 61 Mod 0 and 1?
No, I started in 2006.
Okay.
And I was on the 61 disassembly when we were doing 357, 356.
Okay.
And then I got switched over to special projects to do all 356 kits. And then I got switched over again to do test beds for the 61. And then I managed to snag the Mod 12 to be on the startup.
Okay.
And then we're here now.
Well, what's your favorite weapon system? Should I even ask?
It's going to be a gravity bomb. It's the 61. It's the 61.
Well, thank you, Sam.
You're very welcome.
What's it feel like, Sam, to be one of the more seasoned technicians on the line? I mean, this is where the rubber meets the road.
Mm-hmm.
We just celebrated the last production unit for the Mod 12. Does that feel like a burden of responsibility for you when we have new technicians come in and helping
does.
them? Yeah. I bet it feels good at the same time.
It feels good, but it's still scary when everybody looks to you for information. You're like, I'm just like you. So it's a little bit of growing pains, but it was good. We have a lot of good techs on the program.
Have any advice for people recruiting to be techs?
Question everything, and don't always take someone's word for it.
Oh, that's pretty good advice. So we don't hire you from the neck down. We ask you
Right.
to think, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's a good point. It reminds me when I worked down on the south end of the line, as we call it. Sam was actually in the organization that I had responsibility for many years ago, and I remember as an engineer, I thought I really understood how things worked down there, and then I got down there and I gained appreciation for all the things that have to happen outside of the work that I had primary responsibility for when I was an engineer. And I even do a graphic of all the things that you all have to know and understand how to do each and every day, and that's significant. And so really appreciate the fact that you all are that well trained and talented to keep up with that and do a good job all day, every day, Sam. I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Any advice you can give the new technicians other than think and
Don't be afraid to go slow.
okay?
We
That's good
aren't
advice.
in a we're not in a sprint. This isn't a marathon.
What do you
Everything will get done when it gets done.
What do you like best about your job?
You're going to laugh. Going to laugh. Everybody always does. I love packaging.
Packaging. That is funny.
So ever since I went to the Mod 12, they kind of pushed me off on D&I. So I tear apart everything we build. And then I package it up and send it out, so whether it be Weddle, JTA, all that. I love packaging.
Oh my goodness.
Excellent. Well, every bay or cell needs a good packager.
Exactly.
Sam, we appreciate you spending some time with us today. We're going to wrap up this session and bring on another guest for session 2. But before we do that, we're going to share with you a short meeting on the B61 Mod 12 LPU celebration. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
The B-61 nuclear weapon has been in service since 1968 with numerous performance modifications. For more than a decade, thousands of workers across the nation's nuclear security enterprise have focused on the B-61's Life Extension Program, or LEP, extending its service life by at least 2 decades.
One of the biggest challenges on the B-61 is just the number of components the B-61 has, everything from all of its capabilities, its dual role, its integration role on both what we call tactical fighters and also strategic bombers.
I think it's really been a good collaboration between all the organizations. All the sites in the country have contributed in some way to making sure we have this mod that helps deliver something to the military that the military needs.
The enormity of this modification project across the entire NSE makes it one of the biggest mods ever attempted.
We have Sandia National Laboratories, Los Alamos, Savannah River provides gas transfer system, Sandia External Production, Los Alamos Production Agencies, so it's in Kansas City. And then we've also integrated Boeing. We've got the DoD represented as well.
Well, you know, I got to watch it from the bleachers during the 6112 build-up and production schedule. I was sitting in Los Alamos and looking at it from the cheap seat, so to speak. It was kind of fun to watch, and I had a lot of pride having started my career here.
While all roads lead to Pantex, it's those roads' origins that ensure success. Realizing a final completion of a record of any weapon systems modifications is a milestone that is celebrated throughout the NSE.
You know, I'm amazed that we managed to bring all of the parts, people, tooling, facilities together to actually continue delivering on these important missions. So there's not a single one of our LPUs that isn't worth celebrating.
What this represents is the culmination of effort, not only at Pantex, but at all the sites within the NSC and our DoD partners coming together to form a product and fulfill part of the mission and nuclear deterrent for our nation.
The LPU represents another success in the storied history of the B-61, but it's not the final chapter.
Moving forward, I think that future modernization programs can learn definitely from the lessons learned of the 61 Mod 12 through the PPO effort with the 6112, and that we are fully capable of moving forward.
The momentum we've built through the B-61-12 production and delivery will continue into delivery on the other 6 active weapons modernization programs that are underway today, and it will continue on additional programs that will become active in the coming years.
The on-schedule completion of the B-61 LPU reaffirms the NSE's support of our global mission.
For the mission, I mean, this is nuclear deterrence. It's putting out their capability that is critical to the safety of the entire, nuclear weapon complex, all of America. And so the significance that we're able to deliver that is tremendous.
The significance of this accomplishment is great when you zoom out and think about the role the B-61 Mod 12 plays in our overall nuclear deterrent, not only for our nation, but for our allies as well as the globe. The analogy of having a puzzle and all the puzzle pieces fitting together comes to mind for me in this situation. And without the Mod 12, we would have an incomplete puzzle piece that's missing.
I'm very proud of the teamwork, and I want to personally thank the entire NSA for making this happen. Teamwork was essential in completing this very important milestone. Challenges were communicated early, and this dedicated team worked to resolve with urgency.
The world's not gotten safer, it's gotten more challenging with geopolitics. And every time we make a delivery, every time we do something on schedule, it signals to the entire world that this deterrent is strong. It's complicated to execute our mission, and that entire team has to operate to near perfection to achieve this kind of milestone. So thank you to all of you.
Welcome back to the Mission Possible podcast, everyone. This is session 2, and we have another special guest for you, Wendy Baca from the Program Integration Division. Wendy is the Division Director for Program Integration. Welcome, Wendy.
Hello, Colby. Thanks.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Hey, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're new. People want to know who you are.
Well, let's see. I keep it kind of easy just in case I get too old and forget. I started in 1987 at the Department of Energy on the W-87, so that helps. And as I tell people, it's really reassuring because it's exit 87 off of I-40 to get to Pantex, so it all comes in handy. 87 is my favorite number.
Your favorite.
And I stayed at DOE until it became NNSA for 25 years. I retired from the federal government. Then I went to work for Los Alamos for a little over 5 years, worked in pit production there, and in the end, went to Sandia National Labs, and I was there for almost 6 years. I worked in military liaison, accident response group. I was the program manager for Sandia for that, and other associated activities. And then I did some consulting for a company called TechSource for a couple of years, and now I'm here at Pantex, the best place to be.
Yeah, that's good. So your organization, Program Integration, tell us, what does that mean? What does this organization do?
Well, it's a lot of integration because Pantex has so much interaction with all the sites. So we have interactions with the 3 national labs, all the production sites, and we also have interactions with all the federal program managers, which range through Albuquerque and headquarters. So it's a pretty busy set of work, and then we bring back a lot of that information and transfer activities back and forth between engineering, ops, infrastructure, and other orgs here at the plant. So it's just a constant activity of communication.
Yeah, sounds busy.
Yeah.
Very
sound
busy.
Does sound busy. Now, Wendy, you're no stranger to Pantex. You and I have known each other for quite some time. Prior to the role you're in now, how many times, this is not a trick question, but it may take a minute to think about, how many times do you think you had been to Pantex prior to that?
Oh my gosh.
It's a lot, I know, because I've seen you here many times.
Yeah. When I was at DOE, we used to have a plane that went back and forth once a day, and so you could come. I'd say, let's just say 37 years, maybe 3,000 times. Yeah, it's been a lot.
Yeah.
I counted up trips when my kids were little, 27 trips a year, not always to Pantex, and I did that for about 30 years. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, Wendy's a long-time weaponeer. She knows the systems very well and knows Pantex very well, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's been quite the pleasure.
And everybody knows Wendy throughout the complex. Hey, what's your favorite thing about Pantex? You are back and you're here full time. And
well, I mean, the thing that is the best thing about Pantex, and of all the sites, and I'm happy to say it, and people would agree with me, is the people. And there's the can-do attitude of Pantex, which I've always seen. The ability to get the job done, to come up with ideas on how to get the job done. And we have some tricky, things to support the military on, and every single time they've made it happen.
any advice to give some of the newer employees about their careers?
Oh, I would just say don't want to go too fast. Stop and learn. Kelly, you've said do some dirty jobs. I never said no, and boy did my resume grew, even though there was a lot of challenges. And I'm really happy that I didn't say no, because I did the dismantlement program, surveillance, pit production, all that kind of stuff. I was usually asked, and I didn't say no. So that's what I would recommend.
Thank you, Wendy.
Yeah.
All right, that's awesome. So thanks to Wendy Baca, everyone. I hope you had an opportunity to really get to know her a bit and have the opportunity to also see her around the site here as we go forward. This wraps up this session of the Mission Possible podcast. If you have any inputs, questions, or comments, please feel free to place them right here to this address. Thanks a lot.